This is Matt with 3Gstore, and today we're going to be looking at the IP power switch and the interface and how you can configure that to power cycle any devices you have. The first thing that you need to do is go ahead and install the utility software here. This is Windows only, so you will need a Windows XP, Vista, or 7 machine to get that installed. And the primary reason that you want this software installed is because this is where you need to do the firmware. And you can see you can select your firmwares from that section there. Or if you're a Mac user, you can install Parallels or VMware, so you can install that on a virtual OS there. After you've got the software utility installed, you can go ahead and go into the interface, which is just launched by using a web browser. It's actually http://outlet, and it's going to pop up with a username and a password. The username by default is just admin. There is no password. That is actually configurable. If you go into the network settings, you can enable a password again from the utility software, as well as configure any port options there. So this takes us back into the interface here of the IP switch, and under the current status you can see all the sites that it's actively pinging now. It gives the response time as well as the timeout percentage. You then have your status and controls where you can see the outlet 1 on, outlet 2 on, as well as the UIS function enabled. You can quickly reset these manually if you'd like, and you can quickly glance at the system status, which gives you the current firmware version as well as your uptime. As you can see right now, my uptime is at 41 days, so it's been up for a little while now. And we're going to dive right into the configuration. So what I really like about the latest firmware on the IP switch is the ability to specify outlets. So you can say outlet 1 and outlet 2. Now, outlet 1 in this scenario, we would say this is a WAN connection. We have all of our sites here, Google, Yahoo, Bing, Ask, and you can configure UDP or TCP. And those are the sites that it's actively going to ping. And if it does not receive a response for whatever time you specify, it will trigger a power cycle on the device. Now, why I like it being broken up is on outlet 2, you can enable this for LAN. So rather than for the wide area network, if you're running like a kiosk machine or something that needs to be up 24/7, if it doesn't respond locally, you can use that IP and it will power cycle that device too. So it's a great way to reboot a kiosk that might be prone to freezing up on you on occasion. So you've got your timeout settings here, which you can specify for each of the IP addresses, which would be like Google, Yahoo. And you can customize the outlet names. And you can specify the delay on the power reset. That's 0 to 30 minutes. That's useful if you have a router connected and maybe you want to wait 5 minutes to ensure that internet connectivity is back. Say 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, it turns the outlet back on. Power cycles your router again. Or you can configure a daily reset, or you can put a delay between outlet 1 and 2. Now, if you want everything a bit more automated there, where you don't have to manually do this, maybe you're going to be off-site, you do have an outlet schedule. Now you can schedule this once, or you can specify every day, or the specific days that you want to power cycle a device. Now, in a lot of machine applications where, say, maybe you need to reset some type of device, maybe every Sunday it needs to go down for 2 hours. So it's a great tool to specify a specific day, which outlets you want it to power cycle, and as well as how long you want it off. So maybe you need to do like a 4-hour reset on a piece of machinery. Just specify the time that you would like it to go off there, and when you want it to come back online, just add another rule, turn the outlet back on with the specified time. Then you have your network settings here, which this is configured more for the remote features and functionality. You can see it does have a dynamic DNS with a lot of the popular DNS clients here. So if your third-party device doesn't have a static IP, you can use the dynamic DNS and a provider to remote into it still. So that's a really nice feature. And then you have your email system, so if you want any email alerts when a device is power cycle, you have that option as well. And again, you can configure an admin password from this field. And then another unique feature is the MSN feature, which if you have an MSN account set up, you can actually physically log in, create a username, password, and you can use the MSN feature to remotely command the IP switch if you want to do like device resets or power cycles there. So that is pretty much all there is to the IP switch. It's a very simple device to set up and configure, but it's very powerful. And if you're in an environment where you've got remote applications installed, require 24/7 uptime, this device is really great option to have because it requires no user intervention. It's done all automated, so you don't have to worry about sending text out onto the site just to do, say, a power cycle on a router. Does it automatically. It's hands-free. Thank you.